Previously on OATHSWORN.
I pull the trigger, and the sky cracks.
And you can see the same spiderweb cracks coursing across Judet.
Breaks off the shield, and just like there's smoke and steam from the snow coming up off of it, and then that dissipates, and then you realize like, oh, there's still like a weird something coming off of Kayo.
Update the status of any alchemists, laborers, and mercies.
We didn't do anything with Suleiman. And I guess we get one tick on the long-term project if that doesn't matter.
I'd like to, if this is the time, I'd like to have a discussion about that long-term project.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is the last downtime where we have downtime actions, right?
Right.
Yes.
So then, yeah, I'm just taking it out of solidarity.
Right. Matthew, it sounded like you had a pitch.
Well, I have the ghost of a pitch.
It's me. I was here the whole time.
Yep, that's him of Pitch, the ghost.
A ghost called Pitch is really cool, actually, though, because like pitch is like darkness and
Instead
like oil.
of being like a white shade, it's like a pitch black.
That's sick.
Writing notes for the next campaign. Okay. So, as a reminder, this was the part 1 of 2 for a automatic training regimen that we tried to set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to finish, right? And honestly, it was probably never going to finish. But this is something that we've sort of like had in the background since before we even got to Navarra, right? We had like scenes of like training people and stuff like that, and working on this project. And we also get a tick on this because of Mal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what Gavin was saying about the automatic tick.
Right. So the ghost of the pitch here is there anything that we could think about sort of translating that mechanical work and narrative work into, whether that thing we're translating it into is a mechanical thing, like, I don't know, like 1 extra XP for a rookie or something. I don't know. Just because it seems like it's been a lot of rookie training. That wouldn't do anything. Or maybe narratively in terms of like positioning of rookies during whatever the final battle looks like. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, it'd be nice if there was something that came out of that, even if it's just flavor.
Yeah, I think there's a degree to which, like, as you say, this has been ongoing, that this has already had an impact in that, like, as part of Novara, you got a bunch of new rookies, right?
Right.
And a lot of them were able to be onboarded because you were sort of, like, actively hosting training like that.
Sure, yeah.
In a way that was visible and impactful. So that's not to say you've already gotten the advantage out of this. That's not what that is. But
sure, that's fair. That's fair.
But we have had it on screen and impactful in a way.
Sure.
I have some ideas for flashbacks. If it comes up, like like a cold water gun disassembly training thing where they had to dip their hands in ice and then disassemble and reassemble their gun and fire it.
Sure.
With frozen hands, basically.
I wish I was better at math. I could work out some kind of like, if you gave me a specialist, if you dedicated a specialist to just this,
Mm-hmm.
and then managed to get something out of this. I don't know.
I mean, I can try to math something out for you if it's helpful. Does anybody remember what this first long-term project was even for? What this first half of it? It was just coming up with a training regimen. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was giving us a extra
downtime action
that was basically give everyone a certain amount of XP.
Right.
And then the second clock was to make that an automatic thing that would keep happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. In which case, it's kind of hard to justify, given that, like, justify mechanically, given that the project was just to establish here's a thing that you can do during downtimes, which it's very difficult to imagine a situation where I then give you another downtime action to use this, because that wouldn't even have an effect anyway, because those rookies wouldn't necessarily level up as a consequence.
Right.
Some of these rookies are still starving. Those poor rookies.
Yeah, we have a lot of food as well. We have like 6 helpings of food we're just not giving them.
Well, I put starving there as like a placeholder. We could have had them be like starved or weakened or something.
Sure.
Okay, I have a fictional positioning pitch then for this, which is that whatever epilogue we get, this finishes in the epilogue. Does that make sense? And then we have narrative consequences of that. So whatever the post the big battle ends up looking like, right? We can go into it with better trained soldiers.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I like the idea that you have reformed the Consonant Legion into something that is more capable of sustaining itself in terms of its mechanical knowledge, right? Of like turning people into legionnaires. I think that's very good.
Cool. Okay.
So does everyone else like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
I also love the image of Lance fresh out of therapy, just like walking the parapets, just like you over there, you're going to be stationed there, just like kind of doing their job exceptionally.
Sure, absolutely.
Remember to be alive and to be just. And to
like
sing.
me, Abuna Lance. Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate people taking the time to talk through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I had an idea for a scene between probably Obik and Kayo, but it could be anyone else in Kayo.
I would love to have Kayo and Obik on screen, given that, as we said, they were both on a mission together, but didn't really like have a chance to talk a whole lot.
So, like, basically, I've been thinking about what kind of leader Kayo, like the perfect world Kayo would be. And I wanted Obik to sort of pitch that.
Okay. Is this happening in the, like, medical tent?
Probably. I think Kayo's getting healed and Obik is, like, I gave Obik the trauma unstable. So I think they're just, like, breathing really heavily all the time, trying to, like, take deep breaths to calm down, but just the heart won't stop beating.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Does Obik make this approach?
I could see Kayo doing it too if Obik's like real focused on like calm down, and then just like Kayo shows up and like there's probably some, thing that they used to do like when they were both younger of like probably just not even saying anything, but just like getting in your like line of vision of just like, you see me? Okay, good. Hug.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yep, take your time calming down. I'm here.
No one died out there.
Yeah. We got very lucky.
I should call you Kayo the Immortal.
Don't set that precedent. People might expect me to live up to it.
Well, you're not dead yet, right?
I could have done more. I gave Kayo the trauma. Reckless.
Kayo and Lance, Predator handshake meme.
More.
Yeah.
More. We're all here, aren't we?
There's 3 rookies who... What, 3, 4 rookies?
4 rookies.
Who knows when they'll be conscious again.
They're breathing. And they're here. We didn't leave them behind. People can see that.
And some days that still doesn't feel like enough. Like just being here isn't enough, you know? Like I...
Look.
It's
what?
What's what?
Never mind. Look, Kayo, you did the impossible. No one could have made sure everyone came back alive other than you.
Kayo is like starting to look around, like clearly kind of uncomfortable with like the, like not even act, just like acknowledgement of what happened. They're just like, okay, great, yeah, good for me. Stop it. Let's talk about anything else.
Look, that's powerful. People are going to see this. They're going to go into the next fight trusting that you're going to be able to bring them back out alive. And you're going to do it.
Yeah, ideally. Are you okay? Checks his like forehead for a fever. Are you okay?
No, I am not okay. None of us are okay.
Smoke coming out of Kayo's hands onto Obik's forehead.
Right.
This sucks so much, Kayo.
Are things any different? And I don't think they know what to call the other Legion now, because it's all one Legion and we're all friends. But also like were things like this in your group before? Were things different? Was it not awful?
No, it was awful. We lost people along the way.
Yeah.
But I think you're, and it's not think, I know, okay? Like, you've always been afraid to see other people get hurt. And afraid to, like, give them the chance. But, like, what you proved that if you're there, people can take the risks because you can pull them out of it. You know?
You saying I should let more people get hurt? Or let them try? Kayo looks like really worried there, right? Like,
well,
you saying I should let more people put themselves in danger's way?
I mean, when you put it that way. But, like, this is the business.
It really is, isn't it?
And you're really good at getting people out of danger. And that's like, it's important, you know?
Yeah,
So, like, you can tell people to get into danger or let people get into danger knowing that you're going to get them out of it.
Yeah, and what happens the time I don't?
Wait, has there been a time? Because so long as I've been with you, I haven't seen it.
That's...
Kayo the Immortal.
Man, that's why I left.
What do you mean?
Everything's awful. Everywhere. And yeah, I don't want people to get hurt in it, but do you know how much it scared me that whenever all of it reached home, I wouldn't be able to keep everyone safe? So maybe I leave and maybe I join the Legion and, you know, I say I'm going to keep everyone safe and that's how I'm going to do it. But I was just scared that when things got to home, I would have to watch everybody I love die and not be able to do shit about it.
I miss them too.
They're really gone, huh?
I don't know. part of me hopes not, but another fucked up part of me hopes it was quick.
Hopes the broken don't have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're here. You and I. The Legion.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like it. I won't call you Kayo the Immortal if you don't like it.
Yeah, please don't do that. I think some of the rookies might actually take that up.
But there's something here, you know?
Okay. I do hear you, and I will try to... I can try to let people do more, but that is not... And just points at Obik in a very I am your older sibling, and don't you get any stupid ideas. That is not me saying that you should start getting a bunch of stupid ideas and just starts being don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, calling up specific things from when they were kids.
And Obik gets blushes or blushes, throws their hands up. Oh, okay, you caught me.
I knew it.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I didn't have ideas. I can't not have an agenda, can't I?
How about
do something with Felix, right?
Yeah, we could do something with Felix. Who does someone go talk to him, or is there a situation where Felix interjects?
I kind of like the idea that he just situates himself in the leadership tent.
I think
sure. Or
I think Devin was using they them for Felix.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was, but also I just use they them for most people, subconsciously.
Yeah. No worries.
So I didn't really make a decision there.
Let's go.
Any pronouns Felix.
Any pronouns for Felix.
Yeah.
They are everyone and no one. Go for it.
So,
but sorry, what were you?
Yeah, so
I didn't catch what you said.
No, yeah. In the TV show version of this, there's a version where it's a repeat of the shot of Azar coming into the tent to see Suleiman sitting in the chair, but it's Dorado and Ensemble coming into the tent to see Felix sitting in Dorado's chair. Just sort of not looking at all the papers, but not rifling through them, just sort of sitting politely and just sort of admiring them, not even reading them, just sort of. Huh.
They already made tea for everyone.
Absolutely. 100%.
They're just sorry to intrude on your things. I haven't had company in a very long time. I don't know what proper social norms are.
It's fine. Oh yeah, who else?
Yeah, who else wants to be here? It sounds like Devin is going to play Felix.
I can be here as Nabain, sure.
Cool. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's just those two. I can jump in as necessary.
Cool.
Dorado, there's a weirdo in your tent.
Yeah. Well, glad you made yourself comfortable. It's Felix, right?
Wait, are we outside the castle in a tent or? Where's the tent set
I
up?
think we're within the castle
Yes.
walls, but also in a tent, because I don't know how much of it is covered by a roof. There's parts on fire. It's still cold.
Yeah, I think we're in Dorado's command tent in like the courtyard or something like that.
I've been waiting for you for some time.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, you came
What,
exactly when you needed to.
Well, that's good to know. What did you want to talk about? As you can see, we're pretty busy around the place trying to shore things up, get them ready for what else is to come. What can I do for you, Felix?
Oh, I'm just,
Well, I don't. That's why I asked.
The prophecies, don't tell me of the character of the people that will be involved in destiny, just that they are destined. And, I would want to get to know you.
Prophecy. And what in particular? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Not at all. I was just, if we're going to get to know each other, we could sit down. Nabain sort of gestures at the fact that we're still standing in the sort of opening of the tent.
Yeah, I think Dorado just moves in. I think there's probably some papers on other stools or small tables, and just sort of shifts those piles of paper, sort of kicks a stool over to Nabain and sits on one herself.
What's your opinion of the Eyes of Smoke?
They need glasses.
I think Felix laughs hella hard at that. I agree.
Is Felix clearly do they have Eyes of Smoke stuff?
No.
Are they clearly? No, okay.
In fact, they're like,
Yeah,
those fools kicked me out.
oh, so it's personal.
How as personal as you can get as a speck in the cosmos.
What'd they kick you out for?
My obsession with plot holes.
Leans in a sort of go on way.
Anytime the stars come up in the prophecy, then there's more abstraction and less detail. So I sought out where all those stars collide. And they collided here.
I think Dorado looks at Nabain with a sort of should we get Nikolaj about this face?
Nabain does a little nod and scurries out of the tent to go find Nikolaj.
Gosh, I think I'm wondering, does Dorado ask anything while Nabain is gone? Oh, it's just me and our weird new friend. Man, what would she ask though, or would she just want everyone to if Felix is gonna say anything, yeah, everyone should hear that if it pertains to the whole Legion. Might just ask Felix, small talk about so how you been holding up? How long have you been here?
743 months, 26 days, 17 hours.
That's 62 years.
I was yeah, I'm not doing that mental math. I'm not doing that math. It matters so little to me.
Are
Devin,
you in your... Oh, go ahead.
Do you want Nikolaj to arrive here to talk about star stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just chat about amenities and how everybody's settling down.
You have to get really into mushrooms.
I think we've got a couple people who are way ahead of you on that. And then return Nabain plus Nikolaj.
Sure. You wanted to see me, Commander?
Felix here was just starting to talk about prophecies and the stars. Seemed like subject matter you'd be interested in.
Nikolaj starts to sweat.
Have a seat. I think we should probably all talk about this.
I was kicked out of the Eyes of Smoke, and then I went to go join the Astronomers Guild, and I wasn't finding what I wanted to find there, so I left, and it led me here.
All right.
And this Astronomers Guild, you talk about it pretty casually. I'm not familiar. Or
No.
or the astronomers were... No, they're not a known thing?
I think Dorado would know about them. They haven't really come up because of the course of the way our campaign went, but like I think there were definitely adventures where
They were at the Worm Tower.
They might have come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were at the Lyceum? Oh, R.I.P. Draknor, I just remembered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Nikolaj is just like sort of like leaning forward and is like ready to start taking notes. And it's like, all right.
So then maybe it's less of a like I'm not familiar with the astronomers, more of like I've heard about them in passing, but I can guess what they are about from the name, but were you kicked out of there too?
No, I left.
What's their angle on all of this?
I left on my own accord.
So they make their business of stars then?
Yes, but they don't do enough interpreting of them.
What do they do? With? About? For? What?
Calculations. That's all it seemed like to me.
To what end?
Nikolaj like holding a quill over a piece of paper, like waiting to start writing something.
Brendan, what were the astronomers trying to do?
What is your, I mean, I have answers to that. I'm curious to know what your Devin's intention to the end of the scene is.
I didn't have one.
Okay.
I kind of just stepped into this character on accident.
Did.
So
I kind of thought I was going to be playing him, but
I just thought like of a line that they would say, and then I ended up playing them. So
okay. Yeah, maybe we can hand wave. Like maybe this is just like the group of them trying to get a sense of who Felix is and what they're about, and like what they can tell them about the like the structure itself.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this almost turns into like Felix like showing them around, showing them how to navigate the place successfully, given how long Felix has been here, and an understanding of like this place's fire is too difficult to try and control, but you can get around it by going down this hallway and going down this door that looks like it's stuck, but it's not. You know,
this is where you can find the ghost. And don't touch the chosen corpse.
Exactly. Don't go that way. That's where the ghost lives. The ghost likes privacy.
They're not dangerous, just very unpleasant.
I have my part of the castle, and they have theirs.
I drew a line with the bricks of salt.
And what Nikolaj winds up writing down is like a map of Skydagger. Is like charting, like, okay, here's how we navigate this place when we have to defend it.
Yeah. And I don't think Felix has answers. I think that was their whole obsession, was that like there was all these points in the prophecies where they aligned, and at that point there's nothing.
Right.
I have a suggestion on that, which is, and feel free to reject this, but I kind of like the idea of Felix being one of those, a version of one of those like wise old people who like speaks in riddles. But for Felix, it's not intentional. It's the fact that they've been on their own for 62 years, and they like have a different sense of time than everybody else here.
And two separate forms of academic jargon, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like Nikolaj, there's like Nikolaj following Felix around, like with the paper and pen this whole time, being like, I'm gonna get something out of them. I know it. Like at some point, it's gonna make sense. And Felix is like, did we already talk about that? Anyway, about the fire.
Nikolaj's just waiting for the point where it's like, no, if they were part of the Eyes of Smoke, at some point I'll understand what the hell she's talking about.
It's just like, just don't cook with it.
You speaking from experience, buddy?
Yes.
I do just like a sort of final, like, you know, maybe Dorado sort of like leaves those two, or them plus Nabain, if Nabain wants to also be part of that mapping process. But like Dorado's like, okay, I gotta go check on some other things. But I think before she goes, you know, they like pass through some part of a hallway where like the roof has collapsed in or something, or they go outside, and so there's this guy again, and Dorado just like almost offhandedly asks Felix, and what do you make of that? Pointing to the star that is like on a slant towards us. Where is that? The one that started falling after Eva did the crimson shot
towards Alikari Bridge.
Okay. Yeah.
My take is that those silly astronomers could never have calculated that one.
Fantastic.
The sky is more mutable than they think.
Keep that in mind.
Nikolaj raised the quill at that, expecting, and then nothing else came from Felix for like the next 5 to 10 minutes.
You changed the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave me alone.
Don't use this staircase over here. It's crumbling.
Don't leave me alone, please.
That could be a fun segue into, hey, let's talk about this crimson shot.
Yeah, who's there for that? Where does this happen?
Suleiman's tent?
Let's go.
I do imagine Suleiman wanted to talk to Aoife afterwards, like, hey, so how did it go?
Absolutely. Yeah, like this is people walking in on Suleiman doing a debrief with Aoife, right?
Yeah. And we've established that they hang.
Oh, they hang.
Who's here?
Suleiman.
Who wants to be Suleiman?
I will be Suleiman.
Does he still have Lance in his hand?
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's Suleiman's hand now.
Lance didn't want it anymore.
He also has Draknor Jr.,
The orangutan?
Oh my
Junior
god.
Speaker Draknor?
Yeah, so both
Oh
of
my
those
god.
are in the background of the scene.
Playing, of course.
Incredible.
They're playing catch.
They're playing rock, paper, scissors.
No, Lance Jr. is taking notes, is writing down like the findings.
God.
Draknor is like taking measurements, is like waving strange instruments and stuff like that.
Of course.
Trying to get like reading corruption levels and stuff like that off of Aoife, who is still like hovering like an inch above the ground wherever they go.
Is it just Dorado, Aoife, Suleiman? That feels good to me. Unless Kris, you'd think Dorado would want somebody else here.
I would love another Gavin character if we can manage it.
Yeah,
Maybe Raquel?
I was also thinking maybe it's Sufit, because this could be a matter of supplies and like, do we try that again?
Sure, that's a very good point.
You know, I'm not sure whether Dorado here goes like, never do that shit again, or do you have more of those?
sure. Maybe it depends on what she finds out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess Sufit could be here. I'm trying to figure out why Sufit would be here. Other than like, how many of those you got left?
Yeah, like I think there's a degree of like, oh, and Aoife reported using this thing, but that wasn't dispensed as part of the quartermaster stuff. So where did it come from? Is it just a matter of like trying to square the books?
Yeah.
Also, how does that feel about the fact that she accidentally shot Judet?
Probably not happy about it. I did talk to some rabbis about what would the like rabbinical law recourse be, and they were like, just get a minion and pray for her.
Just get a minion?
Like from Despicable Me?
No, Minyan, Minyan. It is a group of 10 men, or if you're Reform, men or women, adults, And only certain prayers can be said when there are 10 adults present.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah, like if you'd rather have someone else there, then I'm not saying like it must be.
yeah,
three,
we don't
but
necessarily
that was where my head
have
went.
to have anyone there. Either.
I mean,
would
like,
that mean that there'd be like 10 Mitzrayim just like outside Aoife's fucking tent, just like praying for her?
They'd be outside Udet's tent praying for Udet.
Okay. I thought you meant praying for the one that shot the god.
I think Waloot would be here and being like, yo, I don't want to acknowledge that I have like star stuff going on, but like someone else had star stuff going on and I need to like, are we chill?
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Now I can imagine just like Aoife and Suleiman like, debriefing about this shot, and then suddenly like there's like fucking 6 or 7 people that barge in.
Yeah.
It's just 2 more.
Now it is party.
Draknor Jr., the record player. No.
Colors Commander is not party.
Oh, are we interrupting something?
No, please, Commander. Welcome. What can we do?
Well, you can start with some answers. And actually, I guess I'm glad that you're both here. Saving the trouble having to find Aoife, what was that shot?
She looks up, her glasses are cracked. She looks pretty unwell. Well, if I'm to understand correctly, it was part of the sky.
What?
Suleiman like steps forward in a meaningful way and is like, experiment, star stuff. I give to Sniper Bloodgood. She agreed, but is my idea. Is Suleiman's idea.
I take blame as well. I was desperate.
She is drunk and high. I've given her many drugs. She does not know what she is saying. This is dangerous.
Aoife, are you in your sound mind right now?
No, are any of us?
Aoife, do you mean what you're saying when you say that you take blame for this too?
Yes.
Sort of looks at Suleiman with a like, you tried.
Ask Rahel. She can back up my story.
Well, that was my next set of questions. Who did know about this and why weren't more people a part of that? You cracked the sky. You didn't think to let more people know you could do that?
As soon as you showed up, you tried to confiscate everything that we had that could be an advantage.
That was Udet's doing, and that's... I mean, you can probably understand. She feels the way she does about things that can do that. Look at what it did to her.
Okay, but are you the commander or is she?
I am, and what have I tried to take from you, Aoife?
Me.
Fair point.
Like, you did...
Oh, Waloot says me?
Yeah, you did try to have me forcibly transferred to your team, you and Udet. So, there is that. No, it's not a big deal.
Why did they do that again? Was that just
because
like Waloot is a star thing and
they wanted all of the curse stuff because they didn't trust Azar with the curse stuff.
Waloot and Aoife predator handshake meme over the word insubordination.
How does Dorado answer for that here?
I think, again, Suleiman like takes a small step forward and like sort of raises a hand, but raises both hands in sort of a placating gesture and says, this Legion is one big happy family, yes. I am not OATHSWORN, but is my understanding.
Family, yes. Happy, no.
Big.
Yes.
And big, yes. Happy, but it is still family. I have father, I hate him. Did not like him one bit. But I still take care of him. I still take him where he needs to go each day, even if I have other things to do. I make sure he's comfortable in his old age. I make sure he's buried with all proper rites. Because as much as I do not like him, he is still family. I am as much to blame as anyone else for maybe not coming clean. Trust comes hard, even in these times when we must protect one another. And I think he brings his hands up and takes off his glasses. And beneath both dark lenses, like Aoife's, are two relic eyes.
Nah.
And he looks at Commander Dorado and says, "But the time has come to share everything if we are to make it through. Yes?"
With all due respect, Commander, I am oathsworn to the Legion, but I'm oathsworn to my friends, to the people that I care about. I am not oathsworn to the structure. The Legion as an abstract concept means fucking nothing to me. I care about survival. I care about protecting the people that I love. And if it means taking extreme measures to do so, I'm willing.
Okay, pause, time out, deep breath. That was not what I was expecting to hear, and that sounds like Aoife is going to be in jail for the rest of the campaign.
This does sound like sedition.
This is, yeah.
I mean, Eva's basically said that same thing, not in those exact same words this whole campaign, but...
Yeah, but now you're saying it to the commander.
Yeah.
With hopes that the commander will have sympathy, but I guess that depends on the commander.
Yeah, because, isn't Dorado kind of a similar mind? At least in terms of, yeah, I don't want to be the commander either. I don't want there to be one commander.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Aoife didn't like Azar either.
Yeah, and...
Aoife didn't really like Sarakali either.
That doesn't like authority.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to make it clear. I want to make it 100% clear that if Dorado does not... I'm here. I am showing you the barrel of the gun. There's absolutely a version of this scene that makes a lot of sense, where Dorado says, "Yes, I understand," and Aoife is not disciplined, but that will have consequences.
Yeah.
So,
and man, because I'm torn. Because on the one hand, I'm just from what I understand of Dorado, she largely feels the same in terms of yeah, I don't think there should be one commander. You are, loyal to this group of people.
But has become commander.
But also, yeah.
With each and every single scene that she has been in since moving into that position. Has this episode.
Yeah. But also, all of the old command staff is fucking dead, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe this is a new Legion.
Yeah, there's a version of Aoife that is that version is here right now. Is yeah, I swore an oath and they all died, so whatever. It's no longer binding.
Mm-hmm. And also, the optics of this is just no, yeah, you can say whatever, whenever, and structure doesn't matter anymore. Do you do that right before big standoff thing?
Also, she just did 1/3 of God's health bar, so
yeah, it's just Aoife being in jail for this last battle, probably not great. But also, how much do you just let that rock?
There are other ways that you can resolve this than Aoife in jail. There are other punishments.
Yeah, you could exile her.
I know what Azar would do.
Azar would probably kill her.
No, Azar would put her in a position where she can shoot Ruin again, but probably wouldn't be able to get out of the
Yes, that is probably true.
Alive.
Would send her on a suicide mission, almost certainly.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to. Kris, are you looking for input here?
Yes.
Okay. There's another version of this, which is Dorado says, look, Dorado does the Michael Scott talking to Stanley, which I hate that I'm making that reference to it, but my husband's been watching
Stanley
Office.
from Marvel Comics?
No.
I didn't watch The Office, so I know broadly who those characters are.
But basically, it's a scene where Dorado says, look, I get it. I'm with you on this. Like, I feel the same way, but you cannot act like that. Like, no one outside this tent can know you said that. And if you ever say anything like that again, like, you're done.
Oof.
Yeah. That might be the play.
Because then she gets it both ways.
She does. She absolutely does.
So maybe then Dorado says that. I'm wondering, says that to Aoife, and then like in sort of her, version of like cards on the table, like apologizes to Waloot for treating her like an object rather than a person, with that sort of like forced reassignment to the other Legion, and is, sort of comes clean. It's like, that was mostly distrust of Azar. I just don't know what Waloot's response to that would be, because like Dorado is still not saying, yeah, and then I killed him.
And then lied about it.
Exactly. Lied about it and continue to not tell you about it now.
Aoife, how do I say this like a normal person?
I think that every time I open my mouth.
Because Waloot has the Legion is my home. And it's not like the Legion is specific people. It's like, it really is that like nationalist.
It is that structure.
It's like, I appreciate the apology, but I follow orders. No, that's bad. I want to like contrast Aoife somehow here.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, apologies are nice, but the Legion's my home. I'm going to follow your orders.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And you, points at Suleiman, need to tell me what the fuck you're doing. You need to tell me what the fuck you're doing.
Gladly. Little Star.
Don't call me Little Star.
Puts glasses back on. How does Aoife react?
Commander, do I have your permission to continue to take desperate measures to protect our people?
Do you want to take another crimson shot? Is that an option?
Uh-huh. I could take it at one permission.
Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, boy.
She's going to take one whether you answer yes or no.
Yeah, I think Dorado, like, I don't know if there's anywhere to sit in here. It sounds like no, unless you just, like, sit on the floor.
There's a bunch of, like, pillows, like big floor pillows.
Cool. Sits on one of those. Maybe, like, hits one for, like, Waloot to maybe follow suit and just says, yeah, let's talk about stars.
Were you asking something? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that, like, the only other thing we need to do is get Judet on screen.
I think that's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can be Judet. Where do we find Judet?
Who do we find Judet?
Yeah, who do we want this scene to be with?
Maybe a Matthew character, since I feel like you haven't gotten
Nabain?
to do a lot today.
Number one
Yeah.
chosen fan, Nabain.
Nabain, do you find
I'd also
Judet? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say I also really like the idea of seeing Nabain interact with Judet because we saw him talk a lot to Sarah Kali, and I imagine
Sure.
those two are real different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I could play Judet. I could also see Gavin playing Judet, but I'm good with either.
Probably some like religious leaders here too.
Oh, is Lark's dad here? Or is he too low class?
I think like narratively we should put Lark's dad here. It's like where else would he be?
Right.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I don't think it makes sense and it's not very grimdark, but fuck it.
It maybe you said there's like 10 adults probably around the tent.
Yeah. So there are like other
please.
religious leaders here too.
Right. So maybe he's like a tier 2 religious leader here.
I think honestly, like these people are around the tent, and Judet has already escaped, and is like
that's fun.
by herself up on the ramparts where she thinks no one can find her.
Oh, then that would be very funny if Mordecai was there with like the actual Judet. I like that.
Yeah.
That's grimdark again.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it Nabain and Mordecai were already chatting and then Judet shows up, or is it?
I think you two are walking the ramparts and you unexpectedly find her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think you find her like huddled under a big cloak, just sort of like standing, looking out westwards towards the horizon, where presumably the Never Army is marching ever closer. There's little like flecks of the willow leaves here and there that are like emitting little bits of light on the ground wherever they land. And Judet has like, even regardless of the fact that she has this big cloak, this big heavy cloak draped over her, it is as if the cracks across her form seep through. Like as if the cloak is just a filter, and those cracks in her form can be seen no matter what.
I mean, Nabain would let out a little gasp upon seeing Judet. Look for a moment like he is going to like rush forward, but then remind himself, oh wait, no, Mordecai's here, and like turn towards Mordecai to see how he reacts first.
I think Mordecai is whispering under his breath in the tonal language, saying a prayer of some kind.
I kind of like the idea that if we're up on the ramparts, that we can see Judet's tent in a courtyard or in like a broken area where like the ceiling is exposed.
Oh yeah, broken area. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
To be clear, like I want to follow what we did with Seri Kali, where we never show like if the Chosen has a like home or something like that. We never show that. I think whatever this was is like a medic tent or something like that, where someone convinced or put Judet in a moment where they think that she still is.
Right. The reason why I'd like that is just because it'd be great if we can see the sort of circle of Teton people.
Yes, 100%.
Saying prayers from here.
It's not like her tent.
Sure. Yeah. I think then Nabain sort of like does some mental calculus in his head about whether or not Judet would actually like somebody to be praying for her right now, and sort of after a moment of hesitation steps forward and
Bladesinger, what are you doing outside of your tent?
I don't think she deigns to answer either of these prompts. Just sort of shifts her weight back and forth.
Lady, not sure about the noun to use. Chosen Judet, are you in pain? Is there anything we could do for you?
always and no.
I think Mordecai maybe just like starts reciting the same prayers that the minion would be doing, sans specific lines.
I think like Judet like visibly sighs and like turns to like go somewhere else where she could be left in peace. But in doing so, like just taking a step is very clearly like more pain than you've seen her in.
Or if you prefer, we could consider Rabbi Bibible's commentary that a chosen is considered 10 people in one and counts for a minion herself. And I can start reciting with the correct minion lines.
That won't. No.
Stops.
No, none of this is necessary.
What do you mean?
I mean that I was chosen for a purpose. And until I am no longer capable of fulfilling that purpose, I'll continue as I am. There is so much else to do. Do some of that.
There are practices for filling in, sort of looking at the starlight cracks, parts of a chosen's body, typically after death, of course, but perhaps.
Are you proposing to embalm me?
A variation.
That is quite taboo, my friend.
Of course.
We are not obligated to finish the work, Judet. But we are obligated to finish the work. And we are not allowed to refrain from it, either.
Let them finish then. But there's so little time left. Don't let anyone waste it. And I think she looks at her hand. I think her right hand, which has some of that like fractured pattern on it. The practice makes space for life, not the other way around.
We must always pray whenever given the chance, because we don't know when the Lord of Song will listen. That's why we pray. Looking very distressed at like, why do I have to explain this to our chosen?
Yeah. No,
this is not like behavior that a Mitzrayim chosen would be engaging in.
Nabain is just looking at Mordecai with sympathy in his eyes.
When did you start thinking these things? Hoping when she was shot by the star and not like earlier than that.
Yeah. I don't think she wants to answer that. I think she like shakes her head and like makes as if she's about to leave again. But has clearly like spent a lot of her energy in like getting away from the tent in such a way that no one was supposed to be able to find her. And so is almost just at this point like shuffling away.
Please, we have bombs. We have painkillers. We can give you something.
Nabain, do you say anything here?
I think he might put out a hand onto Mordecai's sort of shoulder, upper arm, and say, I do not know if we have the means to treat what is ailing your chosen.
There's words that could reach her. I just don't know if Mordecai is the one that has them. Maybe he is. I don't know.
I don't know. These are his words. I think he's got like the same look he has when he learned that Lark died.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the same level of torment.
Yeah.
Nabain has one thing you see, like in his eyes, seeing the torment on Mordecai's face and seeing the shuffling form of Judet, Nabain sort of like quietly walks after Judet and says, Chosen Judet, I know you are very busy. Sort of completely eliding the fact that she's barely moving. But I wonder if you would be willing to walk with me into the caverns beneath. There are a variety of unexplored tunnels which no one, like big emphasis on no one, has entered yet. And it would be heartening to explore them with a chosen.
At this, I think she stops. And there's a long pause. And then I think she turns to head down to the caverns. Driven entirely by purpose at this point.
I don't know if we can get there, but there was the scene of Nabain like helping Sarah Colley walk back towards the camp when the sort of unionized now speech didn't really land.
Judet would not let you
No.
lay a hand on her.
No, I was a parallel of that.
Sure.
Where Nabain goes to offer and Judet shakes him off.
Right. Either that or it's the Nabain claiming oh, Chosen, do you mind, can you help me through this passage? As a way of trying to
God.
have you that keep her pride while still gaining some help.
I like that a lot. That's good. That's good. OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison,
Matthew Guzdial,
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OathSwornPod on Twitter or at OathSwornPodcast.com. If you enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with a friend or rating us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time.